73. WhatsApp, same number, text 84850. I'd like to turn now to Jon-Christopher, White House correspondent for Real Political News, joining you now live from Washington, D.C. Jon-Christopher, it's very good of you to join us at short notice. Your initial reaction to the news breaking this morning. Hello.
Well, it's wonderful news. Let's see what happens. This is a phase, the first phase. President Trump already said that. He was handed a note by his Secretary of State, and he immediately announced that. I think he's very proud of himself. He certainly wants to win that Nobel Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize. But, you know, his son-in-law was there, and the envoy, Stephen Witkoff, have been in Sharm el-Sheikh, which is quite an astounding place. And it's true. Let's see what happens with the next phase. Remember, they gave the Sinai back to Egypt, and nothing. I mean, after years and years, there was still conflict. And, you know, Israel Hamas have signed off on the first phase of the Gaza deal. That is terrific news. One cannot say anything but that and give Trump credit. Maybe he thinks he's going to win the Nobel Peace Prize now. So let's see what happens, Richard.
How optimistic are you that this first phase will lead to subsequent phases and this will actually be seen through to its conclusion in a way that brings peace to the region?
Well, here's the thing, and you and I have spoken before. It depends on Trump and Netanyahu. It depends on the egos. It depends who's getting credit for this. That's all this is about with these two characters. And I think that it's important that the people who support this peace deal stay there. And the devil is in the details, as you know, Richard. Let's see what happens.
Now, of course, we're hearing that hostages will be released. That was one of the very crucial breakthrough points. And a timescale given for next Sunday, but it could, in fact, be even sooner than that, could it not?
Well, it could be Friday or Saturday or Sunday. That would be wonderful. That would be great news. And this is part of the 20-point plan to bring all the remaining hostages, whether they're alive or they're deceased. And let's see it. But seeing is believing, and I think we need to be cautiously optimistic. That's what I will say.
From your perspective, I mean, of course, none of us can know the detail as yet, and I'm sure it will unfold as time goes on. But you know, how much credit do you give to Mr. Trump for being the catalyst, the middleman, the go-between, even in fact for putting pressure on Mr. Netanyahu that, let's say, Joe Biden didn't feel able to put? How much credit do you give him?
Well, I have to tell you this. Hamas does not seem to be out of the picture totally right now. And I think that's something we have to remember. Before we put the cap on this and the cherry on top, let's remember that Hamas is powerless without the hostages, without controlling Gaza. And I think they are the ones who want to be in control of the situation. Now, about Joe Biden, you know, we have lots of things to say about Joe Biden, but I have to say one thing. Donald Trump is moving, and he's edging himself to get that Nobel Prize, and it may be too late. I don't know, but that would certainly be something if he didn't get it. And he was there at the White House today, praising the folks there in Sharm el-Sheikh, and praising the negotiators. And we'll see. It means that all the hostages will be released very soon. Let's see what happens this weekend, Richard. And I think we wish the president good luck. We wish the world good luck. We wish the Israelis and Hamas good luck. And I think that's key to the negotiation.
Just finally, if you will, on Mr. Netanyahu, we believe, has just been speaking, but he has just been speaking with Donald Trump, and he said this is a diplomatic success and a national and moral victory for the state of Israel. From the beginning, I made it clear we wouldn't rest until all our hostages returned and all our goals were achieved. Well, one of his goals, which he set out very clearly, was the total destruction of Hamas in its entirety. So in terms of the hostages, yes, that's been achieved. The destruction of Hamas, they will, to an extent, I think, still exist. And he's hailing a diplomatic, national and moral victory for the state of Israel. But do you think he'll be secretly disappointed that he hasn't been able to finish this job in the way that he perhaps wanted to?
Well, we saw the president and Netanyahu, I think it was last week at the White House, and they were not, they don't look like old pals, let's put it that way. And there's a lot of hostility, there's a lot of ego between these two gentlemen. And remember, Trump, like all U.S. presidents, has turned to a foreign affairs win when things are not going so well at home. So he really needs this one. He would love to have this one. And, we support him. We hope there is peace in the Middle East. The world would benefit from that.
Indeed so. There remain so many questions, don't there? I mean, the rebuilding of Gaza, which much of it looks like a total wasteland. It's hard to know how anybody could continue to live there. The idea of a two-state solution still being a very dimly burning candle. What hope do you hold for those things?
Well, that's very well put, Richard. And remember that Trump always thought that Gaza had great beachfront properties and possible putting up Trump. Yeah, I mean, I've been to the coast, the Mediterranean coast in Israel, all the way up to Jaffa and through Gaza, and it is astounding. But I don't know if Trump really thinks that he's going to put a Trump Tower in Gaza. I think he should get off that and get to the nitty gritty and protect the people in Gaza and work with Hamas and Netanyahu to make sure that there is a lasting peace in the Middle East. And it's a win for all humankind, let's put it that way.
Jon-Christopher, thanks very much indeed for taking the time. White House correspondent for Real Political News, who was live there from Washington, D.C.